This is what one does, who is skilled in goodness, and who knows the path of peace. They will be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, free of duties, no, actually with few duties it should be, with few duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be happy. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be happy. Let none deceive another, or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart one cherishes all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One sustains this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to wrong views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Alrighty. Hello, welcome, good evening. Comment ça va? Are you well? Wie geht's euch? Ni hao? Okay. I thought about I had that question when I was giving the Dhamma talks, always there are so many Dhamma talks out there. What is the difference? What difference do I really make? Is it really necessary to give another Dhamma talks? While you have already hundreds of thousands of Dhamma talks available to you on YouTube and maybe other platforms, I don't know. And the only thing that it's not going to be a really generic thing that you can read or listen to is, in my opinion, when it has something to do with obviously my mind state right now, and my mind state is influenced a little bit what is going on in the world right now, because I wasn't just diligently meditating in my hut. I just stupidly watched a bit of news. So I feel relatively informed of what is going on in the world right now, and so I try to mix that in what feels important to me and what is relevant for me with the Dhamma, with the teaching as well. And one thing I recognize a bit problem that I see, how people interact and view things in the world right now, is with a very unclear vision of what we call sila in Buddhism, was interpreted as virtue or moral, or as a guideline and agreement. We could call it ethical principles. And in Buddhism, the principles are very simple, because they're not dictated by any higher authority like a god or some prophet. It's very based on the human experience itself. And for us humans, and even for animals, it's very clear what we don't want is, we don't want to be killed by anybody. Nobody wants that. So what we don't, it always comes from the premise, what I don't want myself to happen to me, that is a good vantage point to look on what others might dislike as well. So I don't want to be killed, I don't kill others. Huh? I don't want to be robbed of my possessions, so I don't do that to others. Huh? I don't want people to break into my relationship. Well, obviously, I don't have a relationship, so that is something that I don't have a problem with anyhow as a monk. But so living in the world is just a very painful thing. No? If somebody breaks into your relationship, and one thing to avoid, just because of the emotional pain that we create, and with that, and obviously in the older days also financial pain for being ostracized. What is the noun? Ostracization? I have no idea. being banished from your tribe. So very, very easy to understand. And then the fourth one, just not being lied to. Huh? I don't want to be lied to by anybody, so I try to speak as truthfully as I can. Huh? And then the how do I keep these faculties in check is just the fifth thing. Trying to abstain as good as I can from intoxicating my mind, that I just gonna lack the clarity to see what I might do wrong. Because I mean, often if we're honest enough, a lot of the precepts are broken in a state of drunkenness or in any other drugged states. That's usually when the one that is watching our actions is incapacitated, and then things can happen that we later regret. And so with that, if people just had that premise in their mind a little bit stronger, I do not understand if people, and I mean it's not just the Buddhists, the Christian value that as well. Huh? What you don't want to do to others, what do you not want to do others to do to you, you don't do to others, and I mean then other things of generosity, helping people in difficulties. The story of the good what I don't know how to pronounce that, is Samaritan in German, Samaritan or whatnot in English, I don't know. That's the one was somebody of a different sect found somebody lying there, which was of an opposite and a hated group of people at the time. At the time of Jesus. And he didn't care about that. He just saw that man was in trouble. He got beaten up and robbed, I think. So he helped him and took him in his house and fed him and bandaged his wounds and so on. And that was, I always found that a very inspiring story as well in Christianity. And just helping people out, even not knowing them. As something that for me immediately touches my heart. And then this these values, they seem to be universal. I mean, the Muslims, they have that thing of generosity when they invite you into your home, which is just absolutely amazing if you have experienced that. Huh? I mean, when I was in Turkey, I drove there with a Turkish person, and we arrived late at night, and he invited us, a friend of mine, into his house, and we got fed, and everybody was just looking after us perfectly, and then they sent us into this bedchamber, and I had the feeling already that was their bedchamber, so I said, please, I don't want anybody to sleep on the ground because we are here now or whatnot. And then, no problem. And so basically they let us sleep in their bed as a complete stranger. And the family, I was coming out the next morning, and the family obviously was lying on the floor, on the carpet, basically. So anybody has only bad things to say about the Muslims. They have aspects to their religion that are very inspiring as well. And it's always these things that basically touch your heart. There's something inside of oneself, I have the feeling, where we can so clearly recognize that is the right direction to go. Huh? And then you see what's going on right now in the world, and I mean, especially in America, they're basically just throwing away their democracy. And they have people in power who are so obvious. I wonder, where do they want to go? What direction is that supposed to be? Huh? Everybody is the enemy. The poor are basically worth nothing. Let's cut everything, every government assistance. Elon Musk was an interesting quote. He said, not compassion, what did he say? Empathy. Empathy is a weakness that we have to overcome. And I just think, wow, that's usually all you have to know about a person. No, you have to stay as far away as possible from him. If somebody tells you empathy is the enemy and something to overcome, is the complete opposite, where anybody who wants to develop their mind wants to go. What society are you want to live in? How is that supposed to look? And so it's not, for me, it's the problem right now is not with all these leaders who are crazy and the Putin and the Trumps and I don't know what. It's the people who are still 100% behind them. Huh? And that is, for me, a moral derogation, or what is it? How do you pronounce that? Derogatory derogation, a moral derogation, a moral downfall, a moral decline that is happening in a society. And America is not alone, you know. You heard already, I come from Germany, and Germany with German history, and the Germans were really good in teaching history, and you get reminded of that history everywhere. There's in lots of places where you was really staring at you what was done during that time, how the Nazis behaved. And I remember this question coming up: how was it possible? How could the Germans just stand by and let that happen? And I have the feeling a lot of Americans are exactly at that point. They're standing there and looking and seeing their country going down the drain. It's getting just rougher and rougher and more brutal and less compassionate. And you ask, and I think there's a lot of people there who feel completely helpless. And I think that's exactly how a lot of Germans felt at that time, because it was only 30% who voted for the Nazis, actually. A little bit over 30%. Huh? And the rest with when all the little brutalities started, because it was also not from one day to the other, It's just little by little by little, you take the basic rights away, and people start disappearing and are gonna be sent somewhere with no process, no legal process anymore. Just somebody, some guy can decide, actually, you have some tattoos now or whatnot, you're gonna be sent to, I don't know where, into some prison in another country, Venezuela, I think. And it starts slow, and the courts, they get ignored, and we're living now in an age where truth seems to become completely irrelevant. We can basically choose our own reality now, it seems. And I mentioned that sometimes, in a way, we are the creator of our realities. This is true. But the only way that we can really be sure that we're not completely crazy is that as long as we can share some reality with other people, then basically it also cements our own reality. And now that cemented reality for a lot of people is this complete, this negativity and this pushing of boundaries, what is right and wrong, and with a little bit of having a feel inside of yourself, you must feel that is wrong. Just the direction, if you're a little bit of a meditator, it feels so wrong, the direction, because it's basically pushing away, being loud, being dishonest, not even acknowledging your own faults anymore. And if we don't see our own faults, how are we supposed to get any better? Because there is not, we are the good ones and they are the bad ones. That doesn't exist in Buddhism. We are all idiots. We all have that stuff inside of ourselves. We all share the same hatreds. And that just, if there is something there that amplifies it, then more and more people go in that direction. And if there, for me, more than ever, it's important that there are people there with some character, who know what values are still, who know what they stand for, who know, actually, no, that is the direction I don't want to go. And that is not the direction I want to go to fight that what is happening. I still have to keep my honesty. I still have to keep my integrity. And if I don't have to offer anything better than that hatred that is projected there, then what can I really offer in that situation? So the most important thing for me now is that encouraging people that this morality, this sila, just keeping 5 precepts, but also seeing the value in that, seeing the security in that, seeing the humanity in that, seeing the only way forward in that. That is something that encourages us in our practice, and not to encourages us to criticize ourselves because we're still not perfect, maybe. But at least we remember the direction, and we can discern when people do the opposite. This is the direction I don't want to go. And having something more beautiful to offer to the people. I mean, pretty much in Germany now, 20%, I can say, they're pretty much lost this lifetime. There is no getting them back in any foreseeable future. They're now on the right wing bandwagon, and I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? You just have somebody to blame, and you can ignore your own stupidity completely. Isn't that nice? It's the immigrants, yeah, for sure, it's the immigrants. That's why democracy is going down the drain. Oh, it was the Jews with the Germans, and it's the woke, and it's the black, and it's the diversity. It's this beautiful this groups, and we can project our hatred, and something in us lifts up, isn't it? We feel so much better about ourselves, and as long as we have somebody that we can look down upon. And now the left or the Democrats or whatnot, they can go in that direction, just looking down on all the guys basically who are at the top now. And they don't see we get the leaders actually that we're asking for. Our own moral compass is so low that people not immediately smell the bullshit anymore. They don't smell the foulness in that direction. There is a complete lack of awareness, even of a general sense of what direction is there even to take in this world. Huh? I mean, the whole Buddhist teaching, it doesn't start with meditation. If your sila, if your moral compass is so wrong, you can meditate your ass off. Basically, it's not going to do anything, I guarantee you. Huh? If there's no kindness, if there's no joy, if there's no goodwill, if there's no the lightening up of the heart, an aspiration for the mind to anything higher that we have experienced so far, I mean, what is it supposed to do? And so I just like to encourage myself to remember and encourage you. Please see the values in yourself if you just manage to keeping the 5 precepts as good as you can. And don't be fanatical or pedantic about it. I mean, we all still make mistakes there, and I don't see you as a non-Buddhist if you still have your glass of wine from time to time or whatnot. As long as you... The whole point is not a new set of rules. The point is to see a direction of action, and a danger of the other direction. And if you enjoy a sobriety of mind and being a trustworthy person, you can also see what if your mind gets too clouded, what it becomes. How easy it goes into the direction of hatred, or of breaking your values, doing away with your values, and justifying of drifting away from the values. So I think that is a very dangerous course that we can take if we just get angry with what is obviously a dangerous development now in the world. It's not to be joked about. I mean, Ajahn Brahma, I don't know if it's from him or it comes Ajahn Chah or somewhere. He gives that simile for, but he does it for the mind, and for the mind that gets into deep meditation. And only the first time the mind is in deep meditation, it understands what we're experiencing here. And the simile for that is that a fish doesn't know what water is. Only the first time the fish is out of water, it has this... If you're constantly immersed in something, you have no idea what it is you are immersed in. Only if you're outside, basically, you get an idea of that medium you have been in the whole time. And I could do the same simile I could do now with democracy. And I think maybe I myself a little bit, and a lot of people in the world who had the great fortune, who grew up in a democratic country, we're basically the fishes now, immersed in that democracy for our whole life. We don't have any idea what that is anymore. Because once you know something, the mind, the most natural thing of the mind is to figure out what is wrong with something. The mind doesn't go to things like, oh yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. It goes basically, oh, that could be better, that is not working right. And that comes maybe from an evolutionary standpoint, that we had to figure out where the danger is, because that is basically, they were the ones who survived. that plant is eatable, basically, that plant is all right. But afterwards you don't praise the plant that is good for you. You just, what really sticks in your mind is the dangers from the plants you shouldn't consume. And that is, if you watch your own mind, how often in a day you have that you appreciate something. Yeah? Do you wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, thanks so much that I had this comfortable bed last night, and it was nice and warm, and now I can make myself a nice cup of coffee. Oh, thanks so much, how beautiful." Huh? And we don't do that. Usually it's, "Oh, the coffee got stale," or "the coffee, there's not enough coffee left. Somebody drank the last cup of coffee." Bastard. So the mind is inclined in that negative direction already. And as a practitioner, it's very good to remind ourselves, if we want to have more positive mind states, getting an appreciation for what is going right. Yeah? What is going right in your life. And what was going right with democracy. Democracy is a horrible system. But any political system is a horrible system. What do we want? We tried everything else already. Huh? I mean, the only thing would be the benevolent tyrant. The God King we have in Buddhism. The super wise guy at the top with absolute power. And he's going to do all good things, actually, because he's completely selfless. He only has the best interests of everybody else in mind. What a beautiful thing. But what happens when that guy dies? Then you have the next guy, and he's not that great anymore. It's just a little bit more selfish already. And then you have the next guy, and the guy's a little bit more selfish. And he has a brother, actually, and he likes power very much as well. So he takes his brother in, actually, and he gets a little bit of power. And then you get that group at the top, sooner or later, completely self-observed group that looks after their own interests. And everybody else falls through the cracks at the bottom. So that is basically then what a monarchy becomes, or even the super wise guy at the top, because it cannot last for a long time. So we came up with a system, or the Greeks came up with a system. We were now living in that system where everybody has in a way has a say in what is going on. And in the parliamentary democracy, it's obviously better because we're not involved constantly with everything that is going on in the world, and we cannot vote for every little thing. No, we have some guys who sit there and they make decisions for the country. Huh? And then after a few years, we can say, "You did a good job, you can go on," or we say, "You did a bad job, and now basically better stop and get somebody else in." So that is now the democratic system that we have. And obviously, when you have so many opinions, I mean, just in a family or here in the monastery, how many opinions and clashes and views and what you have with many people coming together. So it's a mess. And so you have to compromise all the time. And sometimes that feels really exhausting. And you have the feeling nothing gets done. But it's still, personally, I don't want to live in any other system, because everything else has been tried before. And now it really shifts towards a system where the richest people in the world, they get so powerful, they can manipulate in so many areas that it's becoming the groups with their self-interests get so strong that the democracy is just people don't believe in it anymore. And there is the Trump team. In that way, it does a beautiful service, because it reminds us what democracy, what that thing is worth. I mean, just the UN Charter, just human rights. Every human has the right to be respected. Nobody should be judged by their religion, by their color, and as a universally accepted doctrine. Not that it was perfectly done everywhere, but something to aspire to. Something where a lot of nations came together and said, wow, that is amazing. That is something worse, something that is also that is going to prevent things from people. Something is happening like in Germany did in the old days, and just a group for their belief or their ethnical backgrounds just gets persecuted and killed. That shouldn't happen again. How to prevent that? Because we give people an unbreakable right just by being a human being. And they are almost, for me, religious point, an agreement to bring humanity into a completely different ballpark, an aspiration towards something. And if you feel that is being destroyed, and it is being destroyed right now in the most brutal way, we are the fishes getting out of the water for the first time, because we see what is happening if these rules are not followed anymore. If you can just be grabbed on the street because you have a tattoo on your arm, or maybe because I wear a really crazy robe, maybe that guy is a Hare Krishna conspirator or whatnot, and I'm going to be grabbed and sent somewhere. Why not? I look bloody different than most other people. Scary. And difference is usually the first thing that becomes really scary for people. If they look different. And then we see actually, wow, what does it really mean? If the rule of law is not there anymore, this beautiful thing that we had there, that every person has the right of the rule of law, that you are accused of something, and then you have the chance to be in a court and explain what is going on. And then you're judged, and not by somebody with an ice badge or whatnot, and then that guy is going to have the power. That is exactly how the Gestapo worked in Germany. They had the power just grabbing people, and they didn't always grab the right ones. I mean, there were no right ones. But even if they were expected to grab all the Jews and the gays and the gypsies and the communists, they still made mistakes, because if you have that power, there's also your neighbor there, and you don't like that guy very much, basically. Why not just grab that guy as well and send him somewhere? If you give the people at the bottom, the executive guys actually, who are doing the dirty work, that much power, you're in for a lot of trouble, I tell you, actually. It's not going to go a good way. But the thing is so obvious. And I don't understand, why is that not more obvious for more people? And that for me is a bad sign for society. But to bitch and moan about it is also, it doesn't help. So what can I do? I always can just be the best example that I can be for everybody else. Give people at least the opportunity to remind them of something that is so much more beautiful than that. That feels so much closer to your heart, if you have even a look at your heart. And that is where the meditation comes in. Everybody who strives for a little bit of peace in their mind, it only comes from that. First thing is to be at ease with yourself. And how can you be at ease with yourself? Because the karmic rules in Buddhism, they have as much value as the rule of gravity or the rules of genetic and biology. They're not just made up stuff. It's basically, if you are somebody who kills people, who enjoys killing people, you're going to be together with other guys who like killing people. Because the people who don't kill people don't want to have anything to do with you. And you have to justify for yourself that you're killing people. And don't want to say they are the good person and bad person. Has nothing to do with that. It just is a state of mind. And I mean, if anybody in America, you have this huge group of veterans who fought in these wars. And they needed a lot of help from the government because they basically really, really screwed up from these wars. Once you start killing people, that does something with you. It comes at a great cost for the mind. Even if you do it in a semi-justified way, in some sort of war and some sort of orders. And it didn't even originate from any malicious intent. But just there is something there that we call karma in Buddhism. There's something there that gets really upset killing people. And that is the same with all the other precepts. There is something inside of ourselves. Anybody who tries to go in the direction of peace sees this even the path in that direction destroyed by behavior that is against the 5 precepts. If you're not trustworthy, you don't even trust your own judgments after a while anymore. You don't even know what is truth and untruth anymore. And the whole thing in your meditation is figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what leads to more peacefulness, what makes me more agitated and fearful. It's nothing more than that. It's not that you get the pill or a technique or something and then just apply it 3 times a day and in the right spots and basically I'm going to have good meditation. It's a constant awareness of your own mind. Where is that mind going? In which direction? Am I becoming a more hateful person? Am I becoming a more aggressive person? A more frustrated person? A more depressed person? Why is that? And then we have the courage and the enough kindness in ourselves to have a good look. And we sit down for a few minutes and close our eyes and what is all the hassle about? Why does it not stop? Why am I looking for something out there? Because we're hungry. We're not enough in ourselves, so constantly need something from the outside. And the only thing that can fill that vacuum is we bring joy into that mind. And the joy comes from learning to trust ourselves by becoming trustworthy people, by becoming guileless people. Like say harmless, I prefer guileless. There's no intention of harm. There's no intention of harming anybody anymore. And what does that take away? It takes away a lot of fear. Just the mind gets away from a mindset of harming, and it doesn't expect so much harm anymore from the outside. It shrinks away from deceit, and we don't expect that much deceit anymore. And actually we also come in contact with more and more people who keep relatively good virtue. It's just a natural phenomenon. It's just karma. It's just cause and effect. And that is in the mental and the heart sphere as much in any physical sphere. And what the science explore in the outside world, the Buddha explored in the inside world. And seeing the cause and effects of things, of harmful thoughts, of harmful actions in body, speech and mind. And if there's no awareness there for that, then we don't stand a good chance in the meditation. The meditation, if we have a little bit of peace, just by being lucky maybe in a moment, we get a little bit of an idea what that does it even mean, peace. Peace means when you meditate, you don't want to be anywhere else in that moment. And you're in that moment. And there is an in-breath, and you're with the in-breath, and you're with the out-breath, you're with the out-breath. And when a thought comes up, basically, you're in the past, or you're in the future. And you realize, I'm in the past, or in the future again. Or you with a feeling, or you with a sound that just comes in. And it's not fixating on anything, it's just being aware what is going on exactly in that moment. But what do we find in our meditation? That usually we can become aware of what is going on for a short while, but then we want to change it. It's not good enough. It should be a little bit more quiet. The body should be a little bit more comfortable. It could be a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer. This controller immediately comes up, where it's constantly trying to regulate and push here and push there, and it's doing a little bit better, a little bit more concentration, a little bit more kindness, and a little bit more this, and a little bit more that, and but not that actually. So it's this never being in the moment. There's no openness there for what is really going on. We cannot even see what the water is because we're just pedaling. We're just making waves the whole time. Then we're trying to see anything on the ground, and it just doesn't work. And this with if you think there is a trick in meditation, the only trick is the only thing that can work is you reach a moment where you're absolutely happy with what you have in that moment. And that continues from moment to moment to moment to moment, until the mind believes it. And then the mind sees, oh, whoa, I don't have to do anything. And then it's, somebody tries to do something again and remembers, no, I don't have to. And then joy comes up. It's just like, whoa, I don't have to do anything. And there is that much joy already there in the mind. As a possibility, it exists the whole time in each and every one of us. Already. That is not something that has to be developed. The only thing that has to be developed is the ease. The ease, being high enough in your mind state that the controlling, the fiddling around stops. And the confidence that you don't have to. So that is the whole trick of the meditation. Being at ease enough with yourself to sit in the next half an hour from moment to moment to moment to moment. And if some thoughts come up, it's all right. You just see, okay, that's a thought of the future. That's a thought of the past. That's a comment of something that is happening right now. But that is also already in the past, because the experience is a few steps ahead of that already. The moment you realize, and then you give it a few words. Oh yeah, that is a beautiful feeling. Actually, that is the right direction. It's basically you're already trying to direct into a direction instead of being what is really happening from moment to moment to moment. And if you become aware, then you see that every thought is a comment that is actually in the past already, because the experience is very fast. The awareness from second to second to second is incredibly fast. Thoughts are light speed already, but your experience is far faster than that. That's like another quantum leap from, that's warp speed. When we sit down and you just become aware, and the thoughts slow down a little bit, where does the awareness go? Okay, maybe because you're used to it, you go to your breath, and your breath going in. Where's the focus? Who's controlling even the focus where you're looking? Are you looking at the tip of your nose or what? try to stay there, but actually the experience goes through the whole body the whole time, and then you feel your leg, and then there's a sound outside, then the smell comes up, then basically the body wriggles a little bit around, and you feel a little bit hot. The experience is the sensation of that being in this body. It has a fastness towards it. When the thoughts stop and you stay with that for a while, it's just absolutely amazing. But to have the comfort and the confidence to have a good look at that and just see where do you want to go, mind? And if you have good sila, or if you have at least confidence in your sila, in your virtue, in your morality, in your ethical principles, whatever you want to call it, I call it just the sila, because sila in Buddhism means the 5 precepts, and everybody knows what is meant with that. 5 precepts is enough. It's enough to make you, nobody's going to fear you, and you're going to be invited by good people if you keep 5 precepts. That is a guarantee. The longer you keep the 5 precepts, the more all your anxiety is going to be decreased. The more confidence you gain into your own goodness, the less you fear from the outside world. And usually I don't give any promises, but actually that is a promise I give you. That is because that is something that just I can just see in my own mind, and just the confidence of that. And also in the meditation, that when you look and you don't expect anything shitty coming, it's an openness can develop, because there is goodness coming from you already. So what you invite in is goodness. That makes it even possible to open up, because you don't expect anything that is gonna grab you. Something is gonna go wrong. Oh, I took the hands off the steering wheel, and no. It's exactly that realization. I don't have to do anything. That trust in that feeling. I don't have to do anything. Because there is trust in that kindness, in that whatever you want to call it. And that you don't wish anybody anything bad for a long time. That is good enough already. You don't have ill will towards anybody. Sometimes we hate somebody in that moment or whatnot, but we realize I was angry in that moment, and then we can correct it. We don't say, oh yeah, anger is the right way. I should be more angry with people. I should be more assertive. I should be more this or that, basically, as a sort of building the walls. No, it's just this confidence, and I can be assertive. I'm not going to be a doormat, basically. Even in robes, nobody, don't mess with me. I'm going to tell you very clearly, basically, you stop that, actually. I don't like that. It doesn't mean I have to accept everything. That sort of kindness. It's not a sort of a stupidity or whatnot. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the nice guy, and then everybody's got to be nice to me. No, that's not how it works. It's not another ideal that I put in my mind. It's basically, I see in my own mind, what am I aiming for? Where do I want to go? Ask yourself, where do you want to be? How do you want to die? How do you want to live? How do you want to die? The most important questions we have in our lives, isn't it? How do we live? How do we die? Yeah, we want to live a happy life, basically, have friends, be appreciated, be trusted. Is that not what everybody wishes? I guess so. And how do I want to die? I want to die peaceful. I don't want to die with anxiety. I want to die like I can die in my meditation. It's best to just take the hand off the steering wheel and look what happens. If everything is finished afterwards, there's no problem. if it continues, we have to figure out what's going on now, basically. But it's going to be, if it's somebody else, I don't give a damn anyway, basically. If that has nothing to do with what I associate as myself anymore, basically, it's somebody else's problem then, obviously. But that's not how it's, if we look at the near-death experience and whatnot, it's obviously not how it goes most of the time. People feel very much like themselves, just their perception is a little bit broader than it was before. But if you believe that or not, I don't care, actually. I just have a great feeling that my mind doesn't have to do much with my body, only as long as it is in that body. But it can perfectly work without a body, far better, actually. The body makes it very, very stupid. We don't get the impact of an evil thought with a body so easily. Try that stuff if you don't have a body. You're going towards a very unpleasant realm immediately. There's some really evil shit is going on inside of your mind. You're going to go directly into a very shitty realm. Here it's actually not so much the case. We can have a lot of negativity and nothing seems to happen. It's just a very gradual process that our mind gets more and more unhappy and defensive. It takes months and years. Is often a lifetime achievement to be a grumpy old girl or boy. So for the meditation now, let's remember that interest and this. Do we have that capacity of just having a look what is going on from moment to moment to moment to moment, and then we figure out why is that not enough. But maybe after the meditation we can spend a few thoughts on that. Why does it never seem to be enough when we sit down? Is it for half an hour? From moment to moment to moment to moment, somewhere where we absolutely want to be? Or is there constantly something that is looking still for something else, something to improve, something to focus upon, somewhere to go? And if you have developed a little bit of meditation and kindness, it is it's an interesting game, because just you look and you see, wow, what is awareness? What is that perception? It's just this immense stream of information from millisecond to millisecond. And then out of all that stuff, we create that separate reality with our thoughts. We categorize, we identify, and then we push it and put it in some drawers, actually, to be part of our reality, or we reject it as part of our reality. So that is what meditation can do, just this becoming more aware of what is going on. And also maybe remembering, where do we want to go? Where do you want to be? In what society do you want to live? Actually, with what people do you want to live? What is my responsibility in that society? What is the best example I can be for the people who might be? Quite a few of them are now on a path that is going into darker realms. And I don't have any doubt about that. It's becoming more brutal, and there's less empathy, and finding the bad guys already again. So hopefully we can develop the strength to give a nice example in our immediate surroundings of people. As the so-called meditators and Buddhists. I mean, if we just get angrier and more stupid, what is it worse? Whatever we call ourselves. If it doesn't have effect on our mind, if it doesn't create that taste of there's some truth behind that. And it's going to be in a very shaky foundation, and people can tell us some bullshit, and we're just going to buy into it again. And that is why it's so important to get a taste of the beauty of guilelessness, of harmlessness, of kindness, not of the overcoming empathy. The opposite. Empathy is always something that, especially in the meditation, that is a word that just spreads out your heart. It just takes your hand off the wheel because there's safety there. If you have empathy, then you expect the same thing, and you attract the same thing. And in the realm of the mind, basically, it's all that's going to come towards you. Everything you're open for in your mind is going to come towards you. And if that is in the direction of a good heart already, there's good stuff coming there. And even if there's a little bit of scary shit from the past is still coming, you just there's a feeling that that was some past stuff is still coming up. It doesn't matter. But I'm on the path here already. I'm creating here and now the future requirement of more beautiful things coming towards my mind because I'm setting the conditions here and now in my mind through my deeds and my actions and through my meditation. Because I'm learning to understand the causality of my thoughts and feelings and what that does to my perception. So let's give it a try for half an hour. See how much we can stay in the moment. See how happy we can be with it. And please don't make that a challenge again or not. It's just if it works, it works. If not, it not. The interest in what is going on. Interest has so much kindness in it already. If there is a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling in your leg, and instead of, oh no, not that again, we take an interest. It's just like, oh, how does that feel? Like you've never experienced that before. You just say, oh, okay, pain, where is that? And I'm not talking about tormenting pain that you have somewhere or then you have to move or whatnot. I'm talking about the little uncomfortable things that we experience in a body when we try to sit still, because we feel body is a huge bag of pain. Just keep it still for a while, and it's just like, oh, it's always itching and hurting somewhere. It's comfortable for a very short time, and then usually it becomes more and more uncomfortable. But with this little bit of what we associate as uncomfortableness, if we can do that, even with that in the meditation, to instead of just pushing away immediately, if you see that in your mind is sort of, it tries to get away, but the perception just went there, because we don't have a choice. It's just the pain comes up and we become aware of it. What does the mind do with it? We are aware of it. Interest. Interest is kindness, and interest is that it takes us deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Where is the pain? Where exactly in the leg is it? And I don't mean thoughts, trying to interpret it in thoughts, just keep watching. Just keep watching where the perception is going. And if it's going all over the place, you can use your breath. Bring it, because that breath is very comfortable. If we have the feeling that we can breathe, that's the opposite of fear. If we have the feeling there's enough oxygen in our body, it's almost immediately this feeling of relaxation. If you have ever experienced anxiety or fear, you know how constricted everything in the body is, and very short of breath. But it's exactly the opposite as well that we can use in the meditation to add some kindness to it. Just this, we can feel the breath goes in easy, and then we can even stay a bit with the breath, and maybe even put a little bit of effort just staying there because it feels comfortable. There's no problem with that if we manipulate a little bit. But please try as good as you can not to lose that ease of interest, this interest, whatever. Not being too fixated of where it's supposed to go. So if it goes from your big toe into the top of your nose, and then it goes to a sound, and then it goes behind your eyes, and then it goes to your heart rate, and then it goes to the feeling of your butt on the seat, and then it goes there and there and there. Just stay with it. Just watch. And you see, you're not in control. It's just doing that stuff. And then maybe there comes that realization, wow, I don't have to control. And you take your hands off a little bit more. And you say, wow, it's still doing its own thing. You take the hands off a little bit more, and it's still doing its own thing. And then you can, if you're lucky enough, you take the hands off completely, and then it's just like, wow, how can that be so bloody pleasant, and I don't have to do a bloody thing in the world? How is that possible? That is there already, that happiness? And I just wasn't aware of it. And then usually you start thinking, what an idiot I am my whole life. And it's there, I promise you, you're no exception actually. That possibility is for all of us there as human beings. And it becomes, the more confidence you have in your goodness, the easier it's going to go in that direction. So let's give it a try. Let's sit for half an hour and see what happens. And start by making yourself as comfortable as you can on your meditation stool or on the ground or lying down, whatever is good for you. There's no rule about that. Just figure out a position where you have the feeling that nothing is restricting, full deep breaths going in and out. There's no tension that needs to be held in the body. We go a little bit through the body and see what's going on there. It tells us if the shoulders are tense, actually. It's sort of very hard to relax. We can relax the shoulders first. And breathe into that whole upper body. And when we breathe out, we just let go a little bit more. Just don't have to hold back. We're safe. We're trying to make ourselves comfortable and trying to have a good time, trying to have a good look what is going on. Just that freedom of just looking what is going on, happy with what is going on without manipulating around it, doing stuff. All that confidence is just, you're welcome. Whatever is there in that half an hour is welcome. If it's unpleasant, then be welcome unpleasantness. I really want to have a good look at you. I want to identify you in my body. I want to see how that feels. I want to see what happens if I don't add thoughts to it. Just experience this moment by moment by moment perception. Where does it start? Where's my mind right now? Where's the perception? Behind my eyes? At my breath? Just becoming aware, a little bit of interest, a little bit of trust in the process. It's just doing its thing. Keeping up that awareness that every thought that comes up takes you out of what is going on in the moment. And just the awareness, not the judgment, Just being always aware where the mind is. If it's back to thoughts, or if it's still in the moment with the awareness. No judgment, just that awareness. Where's the mind going? And I help you a little bit along, like I help myself a little bit along, by just this kindness towards the body, no? That we know we're sitting in a position. There's no harm is going to come to the body. It's completely safe there. I can now fall unconscious and nothing is going to happen with the body. And I can breathe. And I just let my muscles relax, like falling asleep. I'm wishing myself well, and I wish you well in your meditation. And I mean that. I don't even know you. You might be a terrible person, and I still wish you super duper well right now. Hope you have the best experience. And thank you for doing that together tonight. Thank you for having interest in that. And hopefully you find something beautiful that inspires you and sees that this is a beautiful direction when the mind becomes open and doesn't have to control anymore. There's so much kindness there when it doesn't need to be controlled. There's trust there. And that judgment falls away and everything is okay, because we don't need to be anywhere in particular. Whatever is happening right now is exactly right. Wherever you are right now, whatever you experience is absolutely welcome. Completely embraced. Feels like taking off a backpack over our shoulders that we carry around most of the time. And now, wow, can rest, take off that load. And the shoulders just relax. Breath flows freer. I'm going to ring the bell 3 times and then we can end the meditation for tonight.
Thank you, Ajahn. I think we have come to the end of the session already. So
Yeah, sometimes I just can't stop talking. Are there any questions or comments? I'm willing to add a few minutes. You can shut off if you want. I'm not bound by that clock. So if there is still a question or comment, go ahead, please.
Yes, if anyone has any questions, please unmute yourself and ask.
Any online questions on?
Gita has her hand raised up.
Where?
Gita,
Gita, is she on another monitor?
Yeah, okay. Hi Bhante, thank you for reminding us of the foundations of the practice, the 5 precepts. It's funny how the importance of that sort of get lost sometimes, even for traditional Buddhist practitioners.
Well, everything that becomes a ritual can get lost in being a ritual. Usually the ritual was the reminder of something, and now for a lot of people it's basically and then they think they don't even know half of them don't know what it means, and the ones who know what it means basically they don't give a damn. Basically, it's just the ritual. It's just blah 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 blah. But if we use it wisely, it is a reflection, and I hope you that can become your refuge, and that become your compass in this really crazy world where it's just you think, am I still living in the same reality as some of these people here? What the hell is going on? Yeah? Black is white and red is green and right is wrong and truth doesn't seem to matter at all anymore and whatnot, and they are supposed to be the leaders of a country, and it's sort of, wow, what a great example for my children. Listen to this person and listen to that kindness, actually. Listen to that wisdom there. And I wouldn't even let my daughter alone with that guy, basically, and that is supposed to be a leader of a country. And that there is something so deeply wrong with that, and that so many people can support it. I mean, I mentioned Germany with our history, 20% for the AfD, again, 20% in Germany. Well, the only good thing was there were immediately some few 100,000 people on the streets, actually, who said, we don't want to have nothing to do with Nazi shit again. Huh? And that these values are not clear in the minds of the people anymore, because it becomes even for Buddhists it becomes a ritual. There's no beauty in it. You don't see the safety in it. You don't see the compass in it for your own mind. And that is very sad for a country when that over 50% think now that sort of behavior is okay. And what can we do better? It's not to criticize them. I try to inspire myself and find a direction. Where do I want my mind to go there? Just start hating the other side or whatnot? What is that going to help? How is that going to help anybody? It's not going to help my own mind. It's not going to help anybody else. So the only thing is having the decency, from day to day to day to day in your daily life, that respect for other people. And if that is lost, then we're on the way down already. We're going back to the knife eons, actually, and just gonna strangle each other. And it was a great gift living in that time, in that peaceful time for 80 years. Europe was in peace, actually. And nobody felt like, because I'm the big guy, I can conquer any other country anymore. That just seems to be now vanishing again. So what can we do to give the very best example that these are values that are important, that we don't want to lose? And just please be the best example that you can yourself, that you can offer something more beautiful. And go on the street in America. Basically, don't just you don't just need to sit there and meditate. If there is a demonstration, go to it. Fight for your democracy. It's something worth fighting for. Be peaceful and be as kind as you can, but tell very, very clearly this is not a way we want to go. That is no future that I want my children to live in. There is no light at the end of the tunnel in that direction. It's just hostility and looking down on others and pushing down and kicking when you're on the ground and lying and truth is worth nothing anymore. And I mean, if people are not aware of that, then that it becomes normality. This is not normal. We have, as human beings, there are more beautiful paths that we can take together, and it's really worth remembering and doing something in that direction. So, elbows up, give it your best. Okay. Anything else? I wish you all the best. Keep a good mindset. And remember how important that is. To develop a beautiful mind. It's worth something. Okay? Thank you all very much. Good night.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Take care of each other and of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, Ajahn. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Dankeschön.
Bitte.
Danke, Bante.
Bitte. Gute Nacht.
Yes, danke. Bis zum nächsten Mal.
Bis zum nächsten Mal. Until next time. Good night, everybody. Bye.